This is Claim the Stars, our Savage Worlds sci-fi campaign that we run here weekly. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to jump straight into just introducing our players first and their characters, and we're just going to kind of go around the table and just let them tell a little bit about who they're playing today, and then we'll do a brief recap for everyone, and then we'll jump into our session proper and just kind of start just kind of going through like the motions and stuff like that. So this is going to be an interesting episode. This is going to be kind of a big transition for our characters, and so I'm just going to kind of take it away for them, and we're going to switch it up though today. And hey, Melissa. And so we're gonna switch it up a little bit today. Actually, we're gonna start with Shaun. Shaun, why don't you start us off with your introduction and tell us who you're playing, buddy?
So I am playing Spencer Witt. He is the newly minted adult in the group. For those of you who haven't been watching, he was a minor. He was 15. I guess we can say he just turned 16. So he's now no longer I can't remember what the advantage was called. Is it minor? It's actually called minor.
Yeah. Yeah. It was young minor version was yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, because you could take real young as a major, but it was a minor hindrance. And so he's the group psychic. He met the group by stowing away on the ship, and quickly was found out and subsequently joined the crew. And he's been making himself useful as a psychic. And he is on the run from a criminal organization that used to use his psionic abilities for their own personal gain. It's kind of
Very cool. Very cool. And Cliff, why don't you tell us who you're playing today?
Well, it depends. I'm playing Aston Courtney, but I have recently been inhabited by an alien consciousness. So Aston is a smart mouth, sort of arrogant son of a wealthy businessman. And the consciousness that I'm inhabited by is more of a neutral, willing to help people, kind of good-natured mindset. So I have kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation going on, whereas my body can only accommodate one of these hosts at a time. So depending on which one is pulling through, I anticipate that he'll be acting slightly different than normal for the foreseeable future.
Very cool, very cool. And also, you may notice in the chat that I've dropped a link to his channel. He streams D&D and Savage Worlds over at Quest and Cliffhangers. D&D on Thursday nights and Savage Worlds on Saturday nights. You also stream over at It's Cliff's Gaming. That's just your video game channel, right?
Yeah, I haven't picked that back up yet.
Okay.
I nixed it for a while to build up the Quest and Cliffhangers, but I'm bringing it back now. So pretty soon I might start back up on that.
Very cool. Very cool. And Jeremy, tell us who you're playing, buddy.
I am playing Levi Roosevelt, who's an old space cowboy, complete with the gun belt, and tries to be the grizzled, snarky captain of this group. So I just lost the name. Oh, well, I was going to say the actor who
Sam
the guy
Elliott?
from the older brother in Tombstone. That's who he looks like.
Oh, Sam.
Elliott.
Yes.
Shane knew this the first time, and anyway. But yeah,
I've seen Tombstone quite a few times. It's a great movie. And then we've got, and last but certainly not least, we've got Matt over there. Why don't you tell everybody who you're playing?
I am playing Arthur Haeckel. He's a young scientist and inventor, and he recently met up with his sister again, who he hasn't seen in quite some time, and they did some alien research stuff. That's what we've been doing. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you. I meant to tell you actually that I was going to force you to step up your game actually here at the beginning of this session. It's short notice, so if you don't want to do it, then I won't force it on you. But I'm going to give you the chance if you want. So let's just do a recap here real quick. Also, by the way, everyone, check in the chat. You can see links to Matt's wonderful illustrations. So recap, everyone, best you can. Let's just kind of keep it simple. What did we find out about the aliens from this outpost? Or what did you think you found out at the outpost about the aliens? First.
They all got uploaded into the computer.
Okay. All right. That's okay. All right. That's no, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. That's yeah.
Yeah, so they're scientists, so they're an advanced civilization that I'm assuming were here before the tribes people. That's just an assumption. I'm not sure though. They have the
It is really hard to tell
to
with this facility, isn't it? Because it's hard to date it. Okay.
Yeah. And then they have the ability to gift psionic powers to the inhabitants of it, so like the natives. They don't seem malicious yet. Guess we'll find out. I'm still curious to see where the whatever the fuck those things were called, the little floating orbs of death, where they and where the ghost-like creatures kind of fit into it.
Yeah. Where they fit into it is a completely different question, but Arthur, I mean, did determine with a science role that they were, I mean, based on just observing, they were basically little tiny white dwarf suns, like in basically contained through science in basically metallic spheres. We're talking some really advanced, serious science. Really advanced, serious science. Potentially thousands of years beyond humans.
Yeah. One, it seems like, they can grant psychic abilities to people. Because they did it to Kothis.
Yep.
Okay.
And then one of them was full-blown possessed. One of the characters here.
But this is for Aston only. But when Aston sees this thing inside him possessing him, you see what looks like a metallic, robotic-looking creature that looks almost like he's pieced together piecemeal. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like he's some like clean, well-designed, you know what I mean, like technologically advanced organism. He definitely doesn't look like that artifact thing you fought before. Okay. So so what we're gonna do is so you got aliens now. Aliens. You got scientists here now at this facility with you guys, and we're skipping over some of the parts now because what you've got is a whole team of scientists now that can help you guys work, and they're gonna be here, and they're gonna be helping you guys do the rest of the restoration, right? And you guys have done a lot of the major work that's going to help keep everybody safe, right? Taking care of the filtration system to get the fog out, the mist out, the EMP mist out, so that everybody can get in here and all that kind of stuff. And now, in a lot of this, we can kind of breeze through, right? Because it's not things that are like, it's not things that are interesting, right? What we're looking for is the information, okay? So what we're going to do is just give you the details, and we're going to kind of pass through the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump to a scene that might be more interesting for Arthur, and if you guys want to attend, you can. But I think we had the discussion that, like, at some point, most of you guys might want to leave because you won't feel as invested in the mission as others. Because Arthur talked about, like, he wanted to stay with his sister, and others of you weren't necessarily interested, right? So maybe there'll be like a scene off camera, maybe where like you guys have a conversation about that. But I love the idea of having like a short scene where like you guys are back in that main chamber with a bunch of scientists, and they have like these set up like tables they brought in, and they've got like flood lamps, and they've brought in and they've basically set up like this temporary workspace, and they've kind of turned into essentially like a big conference room where they talk about all the information they put together, and they plan out their research teams and all that kind of stuff, and someone is organizing a meeting to discuss a debriefing about all the information they've gathered over the last 2 weeks. Now, has the rest of the Griffin Explorer left yet, except for Matt? Or are you all still there? Or are y'all going to leave after this meeting?
That's predicated on our pilot.
Captain?
You said like 2 weeks?
We can say a week. We can say 2 weeks, whichever one you want. Whatever you feel is a good
that's
time.
In the, I think that would be in the let's stay here and leave after this meeting sort of thing. So we could report back to what's his name? Head of the big company.
Yeah, this is like a big debriefing basically to give them like a certain amount of information, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so, cool. Okay. Would you be interested in saying that Arthur was involved in like been a big part of like collecting all this information and being a big part of the team, and like was he like instrumental in like organizing the team and like being part of the research of this, or were you just one of the grunts? Did you take a leadership role?
I mean, I guess if he's allowed, because he would want to really get his hands dirty, so to speak. I mean,
it just depends on whether you are the type of guy that steps up.
I mean, I don't know that he's the leadership type or the leader type. He would definitely be stepping up, but I don't know. It may be like Adira's assigned some scientists to work under him, under Arthur, and help him.
Well, she knows your intelligence, so she would push you. You know, she would push you, but it's whether you think Arthur would take the leadership role, right? It's like whether you think Arthur would accept the responsibility of being a leader. Do you think Arthur would do that? I
think probably so, because it would likely give him more access to alien technology.
Okay.
To being able to research. Whereas if he's just a grunt, he has to do everything everybody else says.
So it's purely for his own scientific gain.
Probably for the
Interesting.
most part.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Okay, then we'll come back to the scene then, actually, because I'm going to send you some stuff and you read it over. Okay. And so we're going to actually go to a real quick scene with... I'm going to talk to Spencer real quick. So Shaun, in the last scene we had with you between Spencer and Aston, we had a scene that was kind of I would argue was a little controversial between you and Aston. And it's been a while since that scene. How do you feel about this thing inside Aston?
I don't trust it. Basically, I think he's possessed, and seeing what some of this like really advanced alien tech can do over the last few adventures, I'm really worried that 4 people may be getting on the ship, but there's really 5 getting on the ship. So I really just don't know what to expect. I don't know if this thing has the capability of completely taking over Aston, influencing him. Yeah, I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into there. Because from what I can tell, I mean, I was trying to communicate with this thing, and it completely was able to shut me down.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You worry too much.
It's kind of hard because it's like, okay, we can't just like flush him out the airlock, but the other side of it is, what do you do?
Okay. And what do you do with these feelings of yours during this last week and a half? While you've been probably less than valuable on this base, while the rest of the science teams have been busy and hard at it, what have you been doing with this aching feeling inside you that everyone on your team is unsafe?
Probably tell Levi,
You tell on him?
or I would tell him,
All right.
Hey,
I just
we have a
shared
problem.
something with you, Matt.
Potentially have a problem. As the resident expert, which isn't saying a whole lot on psychic abilities, this is a bit concerning because it's like you don't want to have, I guess it's one thing to have a, 10-year-old trapped in our computer. It's another thing to have some advanced alien being trapped in Aston.
Yeah.
That has very significant abilities that we do not understand.
Okay, so let's have that scene then. Let's have that scene. So you track down Levi on the the bridge of the ship, and let's just play it out.
Okay. So
Tattletale.
yeah. Well, he needs to know. Jesus. So I'm like, Levi, you Captain, you got a minute? I don't even know what I call you.
Yeah, what's up? Need to know how to shave? You're getting some stubble
Like
there.
I'm like, I'm fine. I watched a video, but are you aware of what's going on with Aston?
I mean, I guess. Why? What's up? The weird voice thing?
Yeah. So when he passed out, when we were on the planet, I kind of just did a little snooping around in his head. Don't tell him because he'll be super pissed. But there's another. How do I put this? There's something in his head.
Well,
And it has.
that surprises me.
I mean, I know, I understand, but he has manifested psychic abilities, and as far as I know, that should not be possible. I attempted to contact the entity in his head, and its name is Hexagon. Does that sound familiar?
So this isn't the same thing as what happened with Kathos.
Apparently,
What you're
Costas was Hexagon did something to him, which gave him the ability to use psychic powers. In this case, Hexagon explained to me that that ship or building or whatever the hell it is that he was trapped in was running out of power. So he hitched a ride in Aston in order to get out of there.
So
what
are you worried about happening?
Well, specifically, okay, I mean, we're all pretty much in agreement. These aliens are way more advanced than we are, right?
Right.
Okay. It just downloaded itself into his brain after he stood on a platform. What else can it do? I contacted it. It decided not to talk to me and completely forced me out of his head.
That just means it has good taste. So, this is out of character. Have we seen, in these 2 weeks, have we seen Aston do anything weird? Like, specifically, I would be wondering if we had seen a time when his body was taken over and not just like him talking or doing some sort of a psychic thing.
I'll leave it to Aston actually.
So I would say yes. Specifically, one thing that Aston would be trying to do while stuck here on this damn planet would be trying to establish some level of communication with himself in a way of trying to teach Hexagon English and trying to learn the native tongue. Like me trying to learn the native tongue, me trying to teach him English. And the thought behind that would be if something happens where he loses control again, which he is now consciously aware happened after like the thing that that Arthur did, the little experiment when looking at his brainwaves and everything. Now that he's consciously aware that can happen, he wants to make it whereas if he does get taken over, that he at least knows that anybody who's around can communicate with this thing. Whether it communicates with you is another thing, but at least so it can understand you and it doesn't get him killed.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, at one point it did speak English. It spoke English to Arthur.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yes. So there's a possibility that at some point it like mapped out your mind. And
I'm good with that. That makes my job a little easier. I mean, really.
But it does make you wonder, like, is there any sense of privacy whatsoever, though, between you two?
I mean, if he's in my brain, there's no privacy.
Yeah.
But that's good. But if it's a two-way street, whereas there's no privacy with his mind to me, then that would be beneficial to Aston. So that would be a leveraging tool too. So, but the short answer is yes. I assume there would be times where you would see asked, and I don't assume that if I'm on the Griffin that I'm going to be shy about this, because that's not in Aston's nature. And he wouldn't do it around Matt's sister or any of them because they are looking at me like a guinea pig at this point. So in the privacy of the Griffin, I'm sure I would be fine with doing that. But if I have to go into the outpost or anything, then it would be much different. He would be very restrained and like Aston light. It would be withdrawn, not talking to them, things like that.
So, going back to Spencer, I think from what I've seen of him and he's been doing, doesn't seem like the alien presence is malicious yet, and we just should come up with contingency plans in the case that he is, because that's apparently our life now, is just trying to keep one alien or other entity or pirates, etc., from taking our damn ship. So you're in charge of thinking of something with psychic problems, and how's that bucket you had before? And then
It's still there.
So you didn't
You're
get
a
the
whiz.
exact answer you wanted, basically.
Yeah, basically, I'd start listing off some other ideas of how to tell him something about security protocols. So, like, just monitor and make sure if Aston's body or IP address, whatever, starts doing super weird searches in the system, then we want to know about it. That sort of stuff.
Okay, so Shaun is
Shaun
on his
getting all
own. Oh,
fancy.
now he's on the spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
He's figured out how to. Actually, that first picture there you had probably looks a little bit like a spaceship in this setting. Like, it doesn't look like this spaceship, but like it looks like a good one in this setting. So you.
I mean, the only thing I would say is we need to get him to somebody who can evaluate him with or without his blessing. Okay,
Ooh.
because we want to be able to find out when he cracks, or we have an alien that takes over that doesn't agree with what's going on, because you're not going to be able to stop the alien. Pretty sure you can stop Aston, but if this thing's as advanced as it could be, Aston may not be in charge anymore. We just don't know. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying we have an additional crew member.
Okay.
That we don't have any control of. I mean, if this thing can just download itself into somebody's brain, what's to say it can't replicate and download itself to everybody's brain? Have you not seen any movie about body snatchers?
I try to stick to the Westerns.
And that's, okay, clearly a communication issue at this point. I've seen a lot of movies, and space horror, it just never goes well when brain parasites are involved.
But I'm still not gonna, like, where do you say we take him? Do you have a place, like, ideas?
I think we should talk to Arthur. He's a scientist, his sister's a scientist. Maybe we can get him some kind of scan. We can get somebody who knows more about this than I do. I mean, because it does not want to talk to me. It's made that pretty much abundantly clear. And that means either two things. It's like it's either way more powerful than I am, or it views anybody with psychic abilities as a threat.
So,
or it just has terrible social skills. I don't know.
I'm trying to actually decide how paranoid I would be, or Levi would be. Yeah. I mean, I think talking to Exion would be a step. I'm with you that he should probably get examined. Let's see what Arthur and the whole team has found in this place before we leave. And I mean, make sure Arthur knows the situation and see what they think. He thinks, not they, because we still haven't told. I didn't tell them exactly which crew member had been possessed. I do remember that I told them that somebody got the alien thing. Anyway.
Like you told who?
I told
crew member?
I told his sister, so yeah.
Okay.
I didn't put it in writing, but I told her on comms. It's slightly different in my mind.
Apparently have anything to say on that topic.
Not yet. And so, like, Jeremy is trying to figure out just a nice medium realism between what Levi might do and, leaving Cliff's character choice.
Okay, so I feel like this conversation is dwindling down, and just to kind of push things along, I feel like there's a stalemate on where it's going to go. And I think the general resolution is that y'all want to speak to an expert, or at least Levi wants to speak to an expert. So I know that we'll say that the clock says that Arthur is about to go to a briefing to speak to the science team. So if y'all want to speak to him, you'll have to speak to him after he speaks to all the science crew and update everyone on what they've discovered. And obviously, Matt, you've discovered more minor details, right? But this is what I sent you was just the high points, right, of the interesting stuff for the viewers and the players, right? So, if you do not feel comfortable doing this, I would be glad to do it for you. But I sent it to you if you want to take the lead. So, all right. So what we see is we see you guys, all of you come in, and you're kind of ushered into the same conference room, kind of like this. Well, you see the black obsidian walls of the antechamber that you first walk into of the obsidian outpost. Except the main doors are shut, and there's like metal chairs everywhere. Not so much different than basically any other conference room nowadays. Because most things in the real world don't change when functionality doesn't change, right? I mean, so there's metal chairs everywhere. Papers scattered all over the table. Like little holo displays as well. That kind of stuff. Everyone's got like little PDDs like scattered out all over the table in front of them. And then there's like a scattering of scientists everywhere. And they're all huddled around like basically fold out like tables. And there's tall like 7-foot lights basically just casting light everywhere. And the place has got lights on now in the facility, and there's running lights, so they've managed to get some power on, but half the lights are like out or like flickering or very dim in this place. So that's why they've got these extra lights in here. And then there's also like plenty of scientists just standing around, right? and there's workers and everything like that. So all of you guys are just kind of squeezed in here because this place isn't designed for everybody in the facility to be in this one room at once. And Arthur's sister stands up first and says, "Okay, so we're gonna go over some details about what we figured out over the last couple weeks, or at least last week or so, and so we're gonna go over some high points." And so she starts like sliding some very large papers, some kind of diagrams of the whole facility they've kind of drawn up, and she starts going into very technical data about the whole facility, right? So most of you are probably bored by most of this information they're putting out. And so the she says that sorry, hold on. Move this around a little bit. And so most of this information is geared towards most of the science team around here, right? And so you guys are just here to observe and try to figure out what you can pass on to Wright when you carry it back. And so she says, but unfortunately, I'm not really. She says, but unfortunately, I'm not really the one when she gets done like passing on a lot of those technical data to the scientists, stuff like that. She says, but unfortunately, I'm not really the one that kind of like headed up most of the science teams and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna kind of hand it off to Arthur to kind of like to tell you what all this means and to kind of summarize it for most of the people in here. I'm gonna be the one that takes a lot of this like archived, like architectural information that I've got for you all here, and we're gonna take it back to Research Station 12, and we're gonna put it back in the archives. And once all this stuff is up and running, we're gonna hopefully get all these things running, and we're gonna have a better understanding of how all this equipment works. And then we can hopefully, over the next few years, start reverse engineering everything. Okay? But what I have Arthur here for is he's here to figure out and to help tell you the historical relevance of what we've learned here. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to pass on to him to help give that information to you, okay? So, all right, so Arthur, if you can help me out here, I'm going to kind of slide this stuff out of your way, sorry. And so she starts collecting stuff up and steps out of your way. So, and you can summarize it however you want, or you can read it verbatim or whatever you want, so.
All right, Arthur steps up. Thank you, Adira. As far as we can tell, these were non-organic life forms, and they apparently went extinct about 50,000 years ago. Could have more or less. We're not exactly sure. This particular structure was staffed by the Purged. Presumably that's how they referred to themselves. Don't know if that's their species name.
The translation division like raises up their hand. And they say that's a rough translation from their alphabet systems. It's difficult to translate, of course, but that's the best translation we have. We believe that's because there were multiple different sects in their in their non-organic species, but that's the only bit of evidence we have to support that. So, sorry.
Thank you. No problem. Apparently, they were here to evaluate whether it was possible to psychically evolve the near humans here on Sidori 379C. I'm not sure what the sentence exactly means. Before this time, this location was only a backup database for life forms. So I guess...
Yeah, it literally means that they used to digitally back up themselves.
Oh, just themselves, not
Yeah.
like almost a Noah's Ark sort of thing.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah, unfortunately, these sections of the outpost ran out of power, as far as we can tell, thousands of years ago. But it seemed to be a progressive loss of power. But before all power was lost, some sort of transmission was sent out. And then after this primary power loss, one by one systems failed because there was inefficient power supply, insufficient. And the digital staff were lost or backed up until only Xgon remained. That's all we know at this point, or the bulk of it.
He says, and one of them speaks up and says, and the only reason why we know this Exgon individual is because of what Kothis provided us. So, and we know that there was supposedly someone here speaking to this Kothis. So, I mean, we're working purely on, speculation at that point. So, I mean, there's not much to go on. So, and there's just kind of like silence over the room, and Adira speaks up and says, "No, guys, the team. I know this is not much, but remember, we had to dig through. We had to do translation. We had to do all kinds of digging just to get this much. But we've got months here. We'll get way more information. Okay, over the coming months, we'll get a lot more. Okay." So just stay at it. We'll get everything we need, or we'll get everything we want. Okay. Science is not something you do overnight. Thank you. Keep up your hard work, everyone.
You've been watching different sci-fi shows than me. All science happens in nice,
yeah,
couple-hour increments.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens like in Rodney McKay and Stargate Atlantis. Like you have like a breakthrough and it happens and it and just like solve it in 16 hours. Yeah.
So I would like
Hey Matt,
to.
you did a good job. I know I put you on the spot. You did a good job. I'm gonna give you a Benny for that. I know it's little,
thanks.
but all right. Sorry, Jeremy. What were you gonna do?
Levi wants to ask Arthur / his sister about what they've found about the artifact we brought before all of this planet business. From a, like, that brain, AI, whatever the hell was in it, consciousness, was way the hell more aggressive than whatever is in Aston's head. That sort of a thought process. If they haven't found anything, they haven't found anything already. But
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they only had it like maybe like 4 days or 3 days before they came and you came and got them to come back here. I mean,
Never mind,
it's not like
yeah.
it's. But so
it was
if
longer
you go
than that,
see her, when you go talk to her and Arthur's beside her, because remember you kind of want to speak to Arthur too, I think, and Adira says, unfortunately, we're still kind of. Last time my team contacted me, we're hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock on that artifact. But I can tell you this facility is very similar in makeup and design, but the interfacing is very different, which makes me think the cultures. The technology is similar, which makes me think the cultures or the people have either somehow one of these cultures or civilizations has stolen or kind of derived some of its technology from the other. But I don't think they are the same. I know that's not the answer you wanted to hear. We didn't hit the mother lode. I'm sorry.
It's more helpful than you might expect. Cool.
You gonna talk to Arthur about Aston's alien in his head right in front of a deer? Or
Nope.
okay.
Was gonna, at some point, we'll get to the talk to Aston and, I don't know, see if he can.
Ooh. So does Aston want a chance to hear his own name?
Not in this light, no.
Nope. Okay. Okay, hold on. Aston doesn't jump at the chance to hear what is his his whole name? Like any bit of that man's name spoken aloud?
So, as arrogant and greedy and self-centered as he is, Sir Aston Charles Hatcher Courtney, heir to the Brax Courtney fortune, does not want to be tossed around in the same breath as Exgon amongst these scientists.
Okay, got it.
Because he knows that, again, he's going to be looked at as a science project. He's going to be looked at as...
Okay. But can you just turn it off like that? Can you just turn it off?
Oh, for sure. Because self-preservation.
I'm kidding.
I'm
kidding.
That's still a thing, you know?
Yeah, I'm just kidding with you. All right. Okay. So, all right. Okay, so Adira says, all right, well, if there's nothing else, I have much work to get back to, so I'll leave you all to yourselves. I'm sure Levi and you guys, I'm sure you guys probably won't be sticking around much longer. I'm thinking you guys probably won't, pretty sure you're bored already, aren't you?
I don't know about bored, more just need to make a ship payment soon. Got to keep moving.
Right. So I will. Your help was definitely appreciated, and thank you ever so much for what you did for us. And of course, I'll pass on. I'll pass on good, kind words to Mr. Wright in your regards. So, and she just kind of like shakes your hand and kind of like turns and kind of goes back to whatever business she needed to attend to. And thank you, Court of On, for giving Spencer a we're not allowed to use that. Thank you for giving Spencer an adventure card. Appreciate it. So Spencer, you now have another adventure card.
Nice.
So maybe you can snoop out.
Yeah.
Aston with your newfound powers. Okay. There you go.
Nice.
Cool. Now, okay. So she's gone now. You're all together, I guess. Well, Aston is actually somewhere else in this room, I guess, if he was attending the meeting.
Oh, yeah, there'd have been more of a curiosity to it. Sitting in the back, my arms crossed.
Okay.
So, question for you. So, how much would I know about this facility just based on sharing thoughts with XCon?
Okay.
And then to follow that up with the real question, how wrong would I be able to tell they were with what they were talking about?
I'm trying to decide if I want to share. I'll come back to you on that one.
In the back of the room, like,
I'll get back to you on that one.
Not even close. They're so off.
I'll come back to you on that one.
That's kind of where I was about to want to ask Aston and be like, so what the hell do you know about this place? Or what the plural you know about this place kind of a thing, and or the artifact.
I know that it's cold and I want to go home.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour. Sorry. Anyway.
I'll get back with you, Aston. Who wants to? What are y'all doing?
I mean, I guess we'd be talking about, okay, we're gonna go, or the ship's gonna go. Arthur, I assume, is gonna stay for a bit. You know, those things we already talked about, but this is the time we'd be doing it in character and starting the prep to leave, and then the talking to Aston about what kind of info he has about the guy in his head, slash, is there anything info wise, or I don't know, trying to get some sort of a warm fuzzy that we're not going to be murdered in our sleep.
If we're having this conversation in like private,
Yeah, on the ship, sort of a thing, like in the probably the two of us or the 3 or 4 of us, sort of a thing.
Sure. So I mean, it would be like kind of so. His name is Exgon. We sort of are sharing each other's memories, I think, but the connection is still kind of fuzzy. So I can remember some of the things from his consciousness, but not everything. And from what I can tell, he was a scientist here. I get the impression he was one of the lead ones. He was responsible for a lot of the backing up of the data, and him.
What does he want, though? Besides to keep existing?
To survive. Really, the only thing that I've gotten from him so far is self-preservation. I was his ship off this planet, if you will, but I'm pretty sure he's stuck here.
Yeah.
I mean, does he have a plan for what's next? Or is he just going to take up residence in your head for the next, I don't know, 40 years?
There was some garbled message about murdering you in your sleep, but other than that, I don't know.
See, you're being sarcastic. I'm like, Levi, he's...
No, I don't have any grand plan. I don't think this is some scheme. I think this was the actions of a desperate creature. To get mixed up in this mess of a brain that I have, you'd have to be pretty desperate.
And Exgon, another thing about it, had presumably hundreds, thousands of entities that he could have taken over previously with the aliens, the natives on the planet, sort of a thing. If he had just wanted to get out of the memory banks or whatever.
Thank you so much for the raid, Dungeon Master Painter. Appreciate it so much. And thank you also during the brief respite, Lissa, for the Benny for Aston. Yes, Dungeon Master Painter. I kind of figured that out by checking out your Discord profile. But appreciate it for the raid. Also, Cliff, I'm about to send you some stuff about this guy.
Sounds good.
I know you just told them you don't know much from him, so you can say you're kind of having this trickle in if you want to over time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, my thing is, I think Hexagon definitely was desperate. He did what he had to do. I understand that, but I'm just concerned when he decides to get desperate and do something else. I mean, he seems extremely capable of just doing whatever he wants. I just don't know that I can stop him. and I'm just worried that, Aston, I don't want him to be on the losing end of that.
I agree. And the one thing I remember from all those damn counseling things were talk. So looking back to Aston, are you talking to him? Can we talk to him? Does he say he doesn't want want to talk to us? If not, just,
You can talk to him. He can hear you now. He just doesn't particularly like when people sift through my skull without permission. But other than that, he's not hostile. He's not incooperative.
okay.
Does he want to
Seemed like he
find
wanted to cooperate with me.
Nobody wants to cooperate with you.
would
Don't
he
give
be
me an
like
excuse.
would he want to find others of his own species, assuming there are any around?
Don't think there are.
Hmm.
Per your little gallivant that you had down there, he was part of this group. They're gone.
But he wasn't. So
He was. We just so happened to find the machine that he was backed up on.
and if there are others backed up, I mean that's my only thought. There could be others backed up somewhere.
And there could be. And hell, for all we know, maybe one of your scientist friends already has one of them in their skull.
Could be.
But again, this is, to me, it seems like self-preservation. He was forced to live in a consciousness of a platform that he knew was slowly dissipating. And I don't know if this was the last of his powers to embed himself in my head or what, but I have the feeling he's here to stay. And the good thing I will say so far is that it seems that I'm the dominant consciousness. There's been a few times that I've been able to force him to the back of my mind when he was in the forefront, if that makes sense. So if I murder anybody in their sleep, it'll be on purpose.
Well, let's just make sure everybody keeps talking. I'm assuming Aston, this is me saying, I'm assuming you and your new buddy want to come along and leave. And I look at Spencer. You want to stay here? You want to come get out of this system and see what's happening elsewhere?
Yeah, we've been cooped up here long enough.
Yeah, and really, I don't care what he wants at this point. I want off this planet.
One of the things I've been thinking about doing, Shane, is just sending a message to my dad. Just let him know I'm alive, I'm okay.
Okay,
It
cool.
was my birthday, so he probably was.
Oh, that's right. Your character just turned 15.
Nothing fancy.
Cool. Okay.
15, 16.
Yeah, you may have a message
Yeah.
waiting on you anyways. So, yeah, well, he
Yeah.
doesn't know where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
Sweet. Okay. Do you know where your dad is, though? I mean, he's in witness.
if he hasn't moved.
Okay,
Yes.
so you knew where he was previously. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got it. Cool. All right, cool. And Arthur, this is a chance for you to speak up if you do want to stick around here and help research with your sister.
Yeah. Arthur will speak up. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick around a bit. I mean, if you guys don't need me, I'd like to spend some time with my sister and research some of this cool alien technology.
I'd like to spend some time with your sister too, but I think we need to get off this planet.
My sister.
You're a strange sister. Don't try to pretend like you were close.
She's still my sister.
Yes, most of Arthur's family is strange. It's okay, though.
She's cute in kind of a nerdy way.
Not even involved in this.
Spencer, was that me or was that X-Gon talking?
Oh my God. Hexagon likes his sister. It's gross.
Interspecies erotica.
Yeah.
What else is new?
All right. Okay. So did we see you guys? Do we see you guys like pack up things and then get back to the ship? Those of you who are leaving.
Yeah, and make sure that the people down here basically get the shopping list or whatever for the station at all. This whole system, making sure. We're not a message boat. I forget. We've got anyway.
Okay.
I was thinking of this as more of a more isolated, but they have their own jump cannon. So, but offer to take whatever back if they need to send people.
They need anything to go
cetera.
back. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay. I don't think they have any need to send anything back per se. However, you guys, just a reminder to all of you to check the new known locations and non-player characters shared in the campaign folder. Just FYI. And also, I don't think they have anything to send back with you. You guys had to use a couple of extra days of rations before the scientists came. So you guys are down to 15 rations. You guys are at fuel. Oh shit! I changed the wrong one. As far as rations, my bad.
How long have we been here at this point?
Oh jeez. Oh, I'm assuming you used the scientist rations while you're here.
Well, no, I'm just saying for my wounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so I'm gonna say you guys were here for we'll say a week plus 2 days, so that'll be actually we'll say even 10 days. So I'll give you 2 rolls. 2 rolls. So okay, so that's actually okay, so here's the advantage to Arthur's healing versus Cliff's. Okay, so Arthur's healing can be used as a support roll to support someone's natural recovery. Okay, as opposed to just Cliff's can only be used in the golden hour. Okay, so yeah, so when Aston has to do, or whoever, let's see who is wounded, just Aston at this point. Okay, so every 5 days. I believe it is every 5 days. If someone has it pulled up, they can double check for me. But it is every 5 days. If I'm recalling off memory, someone will do a natural recovery roll of vigor to try to get back their wounds back or to pull off a wound. And if you make it, then the wound goes away. If you don't, you got to try again after 5 days, though. Let's see. Okay, so Bob says, yep. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking it was too. It changed in this edition. So yeah, so you'll get 2 shots at it, Cliff. 2 shots at it, Cliff. So
2 vigor rolls.
Yep. So
Arthur
do you
can
want Arthur though to try to support you? Essentially, it's like you going back to the med bay probably once a day or something like that, and Arthur giving you meds, that kind of stuff, treating your wounds, making sure they're, having like treatment and stuff on them, that kind of thing.
Sure, I'll like bribe him with maybe being able to talk to X-Gon while he's doing it.
Okay, so there he gives you a +1 on your vigor roll.
And then, do I roll with any negatives because I have the wound, or does that going to?
It should automatically apply it.
Let's see.
Yep.
Hey, it does, but we're gonna go ahead and Benny that. That was terrible. I forgot to do the +1, so that should be a 4.
Nope. Yep. With the +1, it would do it. Yes. So, okay. So, yeah. So you do remove it after 5 days.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Okay. So you
Any
no
questions
longer
you have for
wounded.
XCon, Matt?
Arthur would want to know if he is aware of any other installations similar to, or space stations similar to the ones in this system.
Any space station
yeah.
similar in this one in this system? Okay.
Or like the
So I basically
planet
get to roll. Oh, I'm gonna just roll randomly as to whether he's gonna talk to you or not. Okay.
Roll the 2d6. Do the initial.
I missed the tower. I wasn't looking at the screen. Why is it not working in the tower? Why is the tower not working? What the fuck?
I hate the dice tower in Fantasy Ground. It's so inconsistent.
It doesn't want to work. Okay, fine. I'm just not going to tell you whether it's high or low. Aston? Not getting anything.
Either he doesn't know or he's not willing to answer that.
Okay.
It's not something that he's shared with me yet, at least.
Well, I appreciate you trying.
And I appreciate your assistance with getting this taken care of.
Of course. Glad to see you're healthy again. Feels like quite some time since you've been healthy.
Oh, healthy might be pushing it, but I'm doing all right.
Well, physically.
As soon as this gut wound heals up, I'll be 100 times better.
Okay. So we back to modern times. Sorry, the current era. And everyone is loaded up on the ship. Jump procedures are finished. So do you guys, all minus Arthur, take off towards Ilar? Because that's where the Astra Unum capital ship was last time you checked. That's where it's usually stationed here lately. Or
Cool
do you
with
just
that.
thinking you're going to drop off Aston, or you didn't even talk about your destination?
Spencer, you want to come back to Ilar?
That's a hard question to answer.
Is that not where Aston's family is? Too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's like, just seems like the place we would go to check in and say, okay, what's next?
It's also where the biggest capital ship for Astra Unum, is.
Yeah.
It was last time you guys checked in. It's usually there. It's usually where their corporate headquarters capital vessel is. But, it can move, obviously. It is a ship. But, it's usually parked there.
Levi, I think you need to talk to Anthony Wright about him fronting you some ship payments for this discovery that we made for him.
You got paid for the job. You're going to get paid for the job. That's how it works.
It goes above and beyond normal.
I was just going to sell you your brain to him and hope he'd pay for the whole ship.
Yeah. Just make sure you remove my gun before you do.
Once the check clears, the gun is his problem.
Gun's everyone's problem.
So Yeah. I mean, we could head back there. I'm like, what are the chances?
I know you love going back to Ilar. Spencer.
So,
I mean, what are the chances I run into somebody that I don't want to run into? It's a pretty big place, right? Like,
it is, besides a NASA, it is the most populated system on the. Well, I wouldn't say that. It is the densest system.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sort of assuming, unless I go like hanging out in like the old parts of town I used to hang out in, and hang out mostly with scientific types and business people, I should be okay.
Yeah, as long as you don't go like the dive and smuggling portions and that kind of stuff, you'd probably be all right.
You mean like where he wanted to go to immediately upon us landing on Isla
Last time? Yeah, that's a good point.
No, you're not going to get a gun when you're underage at a sporting goods store. It's just you got to go to the people that have.
He's got a point there.
Did you try?
And the lack of informed.
Okay. All right. So you guys, let's check on the calendar because we need to talk about your rations, and we need to talk about when you guys are going to get there. So, okay, so your current pool. Okay, so it's been a while. It's been a few days, but I don't think it's been enough days that we need to change the rate at which you guys get there because the planets had not moved that much in the last time. Last time you guys made the jump, it was 10 days and 3 jumps to get here. I cannot believe I remember that. That was like 4 fucking sessions ago. But I do remember that. So 3 jumps. I won't do jump fatigue because it's not important. But I'm assuming one of you gets a critical failure and gets really sick. That's the way it's been last time we've done several jumps. And so it's going to leave one of you guys completely empty on fuel, probably somewhere. So you guys will need to fuel up somewhere along the route. So you guys are going to have to stop for fuel on the route somewhere. So who's going to stop and buy fuel at a space station along the way? Who's going to pay for fuel cost? Jeremy's going to bite the bullet for everyone, huh? Oh, and you got to pay for the ship along the way. High five for Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy.
hang on.
Which one you want to do first? You want to pay for the ship or pay for the fuel?
I don't remember what save. I'm not getting in savings. I'm just gonna.
Technically, the ship payment will be first.
I will handle the ship payment first, or attempt to.
Yeah, it probably should be actually done by the time you leave the. Okay, well, so I didn't actually apply
before
penalties.
You count that number.
So you got to do it's -4 for the ship payment. So that's a failure. So
hold on, huh? Before you count,
does anybody want to support roll him?
So Aston wants to talk to Levi about helping with the payment if he leaves this little incident that happened on the planet.
We double check notes. I think it was a -4. Hold on.
As long as there's no funny business happening later on, he didn't have a problem with that. Like that kind of a thing.
Do you agree to those terms? No funny business?
I agree.
Okay, let me double check my notes, but I believe it is a -4. And for some reason, why is that taking so long to load? Okay. Expanded wealth.
Well, I give you a +2 on it, so.
Okay. Yeah, your ship payment is about 10,000 credits a month. So it's right at -4. I'm being nice when I give it to you for -4. Okay, and you got a +2, and you got a 3 on it, which would be a failure. But you got a +2, so it makes it a 5. You get a success. Do you want to Benny it, or you want to just be good with a success?
I'm. Can
A
I
success
use one of the
will make you
raises
good.
we got?
It just means your wealth die will go down by 1.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and do that. That's smart.
What'd you
Can I
say?
use one of the raises that the chat gave us?
You can do that. Yes, you can. And it means that your wealth die does not go down.
Cool.
That is an excellent use for chat. For the raises. That is awesome. Sweet.
But then we still gotta get fuel.
Yep.
But that's probably not a -4.
It's not a -4. It's not cheap, but it's not as -4. No.
Sure.
Okay, so you guys get to the edges of the ILR system, and you will have to refuel the ship, unfortunately. So I'm trying to do the math on the days. Your time on the ship was actually up while you were there on the planet. So I think you're actually going to be 2 down. Yep. Okay. And so yeah, you'll need to refuel. The first station you stop at, I'm going to say the penalty is at a -1 on the fuel here.
-1.
Oh, look at that.
Woo!
Jeez. Okay,
All
you
that
are
extra money I
good.
gave 'em.
You are good, my man. Okay. Okay. All right, so you guys get to ILR with no issues. So where do you guys land at first? You guys well, I guess it ain't really important. So do we see you guys each go your own separate ways? Or do we see you guys stay together, or what is that like?
You said it was 10 days and how long?
It
The
is
jump?
the travel is 10 days on the money. Maybe some change.
10 days?
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, really, my first thing is going to be to report back to my father with what we found.
You
with
used a
the
raise.
sole intent-
You used a Benny, didn't you? Sorry, Cliff. You did.
I did,
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Report back to your dad.
Yeah, I'm going to report back to my dad basically to for the sole purpose of letting him know what he found, just in case Anthony Wright doesn't divulge all the information to him about how instrumental our company was to this process.
Your company or you?
I am an extension of our company.
Okay. I'm just pointing that out. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For this instance, the company is me and I am the company. So but yeah,
Right.
so to let him know like everything that we found. And despite the fact that we have this weird estranged relationship sort of, I would let him know about this thing in my head.
Okay, so let's have that conversation when we get there. Okay, so you're going off and going to your family, and the other crew, you guys are landing on board the capital ship for Astra Unum, right? Spencer, Arthur, and Levi. Okay, cool. All right, and Arthur. It's Arthur. Forgot he's back there with his sister. Okay, cool. Okay, and Spencer. Do you have anything you want to talk to Wright about?
Well, the Devon issue.
Got it. You want to talk to him about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's jump to first. Let's jump to. We'll do Aston first, because we've been waiting to have this scene for a while. Okay. We didn't have it actually But the first time we came to ILR because he missed the session when we were in ILR last time, so we didn't get to have it then. So we're going to.
I was in jail.
Yeah, yeah. So we see. Do we maybe have Levi? Actually, we probably have you request a shuttle from your family to meet you guys up in orbit.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So that would make sense. And I would also offer, without even asking, I would offer Levi and Spencer a place to stay. And then I would also make a call to Martha, the lawyer, because I would want her to be present when this conversation happens.
When the conversation, with your dad. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. You want a lawyer present when you speak to your father?
She's our family lawyer, and I want her to know the discovery we made. I want there to be like that witness that's there, so she is in on this.
Okay. All right. This is why I keep notes of non-player characters, because for a minute there I was like, Martha?
If you look on my sheet under allies, anybody that I could ever refer back to.
What was her last name?
Etheridge.
Oh, yeah, I have her under E.
Yeah, anybody that I could possibly refer back to at some point, I have kept under my allies tab.
Okay. Oh, you created an ally. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I was looking at her notes.
Tab.
Got it. Cool. Sweet. Okay. I missed one. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so we see you. We see a Brax Courtney Enterprises. Is it a family shuttle or is it the company shuttle?
Probably company.
Yeah. Okay. So it definitely has a look, right? It has like the painted sides, like the corporate design, and so it flies up, picks you up, and it has a uniformed driver. He obviously doesn't look like he's like a UPS driver, but he has a look to him, right? And so he takes you and he drops you back off with your family. And I haven't had a chance to actually describe your family's house to you yet. I decided how it looked a long time ago. But so your family lives in the 6th district, but they don't belong in the 6th district, if that makes any sense. The 6th district is below them. Okay. They are in the clouds. Almost. They are their house. They live in almost a house, right? They live in a manor atop a structure or a tower. The tower is essentially a massive commercial / apartment complex, right? But what's on top is your family's, okay? And what's on top is this domed. You can't even see your family's house really from outside. It just looks like, almost like from the outside, if the light hits it right, it looks like this brilliant rainbowed, like stained glass, like cathedral, like glass, like from a church or something like that. And as you start to get to it, like this diamond shape opening, like just slides open on one side, and the shuttle just passes on through. And what you see inside is this building, this structure that's meant to look old. It has this look that looks like it's meant to exist in the late 19th century, early 20th century. And it appears that someone in your family at some point was obsessed with older designs, right? And we see a house that looks like it was pulled out of maybe England or like New England or the Hamptons or something like that. Stone with a cobblestone like circle with fountains and everything like that. And we see like a cherub fountain out front and hedge work that's gorgeous and like sculpted, and there's a pad that's got like metal and all kinds of different kinds of metals, and it's got like lights and stuff like that ringing it, and it's got like all kinds of lights and everything like that, or all kinds of like we call it patterns and everything like that. So I keep saying that phrase, but it's kind of like trying to lead it in, and the shuttle lands on it, and you're kind of ushered out, and the driver just kind of like opens the door for you, and then he just gets back in the shuttle, and then you know all the steps, right? I mean, it's just for you to, it's your house, right? And your mother is outside, but your father isn't. And your mother is just standing there, and she's just kind of waiting for you to kind of step out. And your mother is, to describe your mother, your father, as I've said before to you, is older, but your mother is definitely not young by any stretch either. She's, she's like probably like late 40s, you know, and she's probably, I don't know, she's probably, I mean, she's a good looking woman, you know, she takes care of herself and that kind of thing like that. She's business dressed right now, and she's quite capable looking. She's, you know, she's standing quite proper and things like that, and she's, I mean, her hair and the wind is kind of tossing her hair and stuff like that until the shuttle flies away, and she just kind of starts approaching you, and the lawyer is standing right behind her, and so she approaches you, and unless you say anything, she just runs up to you and just gives you a warm embrace.
Oh, I'd hug her back for sure.
Right.
Thank you for meeting us out here. You didn't have to do that. I know it's rather chilly out here.
She says, well, that'll all change as soon as those damn doors close. She says, thank you for finally returning home. We've missed you so much. I'll be glad when this dreadful ILAR security business ends. And I'm glad to know that you're finally back from wherever you've been off to. And she pulls you close, and she looks at your face, and she looks you over, and she says, where have you been?
I don't even, let's go inside. Mom, this is Levi. He is the captain of the ship that I've been flying on, and this is Spencer. He's Spencer.
Yeah.
She says, well, welcome, all of you. I was told to prepare a room for you all, and of course, our servants have a place for you. You're welcome to stay as long as you need. Our house is your house, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I didn't give you my name. The GM actually needs to look up her name real quick. I think it was Agatha, right?
I actually don't have her name.
Agatha Courtney.
Oh, look, Matt remembered and I didn't. Oh, it's in the non-player characters. Thank you. Look at that. I had it wrote down. That's the reason why I keep these long, giant lists. Agatha Courtney. Yes. Nice. She says, my name is Agatha Courtney. I usually handle the day-to-day affairs of the business here. So if there's anything you want to know about the company and stuff too while you're here, I can probably answer it for you. So, but anyways, I'll kind of lead everyone inside while we're here, and then of course the lawyer kind of speaks up to everyone too and says, I'm Martha Etheridge. I'm the company lawyer that handles any kind of legal affairs for everyone here. So she just kind of like offers her hand to you.
We're very close.
She kind of elbows you.
Maybe not to her pleasure, but anyways, yeah, let's head in. I guess it's no need standing out here anymore.
Yeah, and so your father is in the main chamber of the room, and he's just kind of like mulling about in the house. He's prepared glasses of wine for everyone, and he's in there, and he's kind of bringing them near the door as you guys kind of come in, and your father is almost 90 years old, but he does not look it. But he is definitely not young, like I said, and he is white haired all over, but on his face and stuff like that, he does. Yeah, so he has used health enhancers and stuff like that to keep his appearances in check. So yeah, he's got like white hair and stuff all over, but he has used health enhancers and stuff like that to keep his appearance in check. So he does look good for a man that is like 90, and but he walks around and probably gets around better than Levi, and so he kind of like steps forward and offers his hand to everyone. He offers his hand first to Levi for his son.
Levi, this is my father, Donald Courtney. He's
A pleasure.
Nice to meet you. Got a much shorter name than your son.
He says, "Oh, there's plenty more. We're just keeping it short for you."
Ah, I appreciate it.
And Dad, this is Spencer.
It's a young boy, and he offers his hand to you, and he grips you with a tight handshake.
I try to do the same. Don't want to come off like I'm, 14.
Yeah, okay. When you grip his hand tight, he goes, "Ow, ow, ow there, son." He just kind of winks at you.
Yeah. It's like,
And he
So,
kind of looks back at Aston.
yeah, I'm glad you could make time to greet us here.
He says, "So how was your business, son?"
Straight to business. Yep, perfect. Business was perfect. I was a glowing beacon of positive advertisement for the Brax Courtney Company, and you know what? To cut the shit,
He definitely glowed at one point.
most likely. It was a shit show, and a lot of things happened there, which is why I wanted to talk to you today. And the reason I wanted Martha
Son,
present
well, hold on,
is
son.
because
We don't say things like shit show in front of your mother and Miss Etheridge.
Martha's heard me say far worse, but yes, no, I agree, and I apologize. Mom? Can I have your permission to speak a bit more crass than normal, as
I'll go get
I
something
don't
to
think-
eat ready. I'm sure everybody would appreciate that, right? And then she just kind of pats you on the shoulder, and she
You're
whispers
an
in your
angel.
ear, and she says, "He comes from a different generation, son."
And he's never gonna die.
And then she kind of heads off to another room.
So, Father, as I was saying, it was a shit show. There is no other way to put this.
Make a smarts roll.
A smarts roll?
Yeah. You find it odd that he went straight to business and did not mention anything about the jail yet. And when you mentioned the shit show, he did not take a jab at you about jail.
Do I find that odd? Him all about business? I'll take a note of it, though. I'm going to continue on with...
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
reason
Joe.
I wanted Martha here was because what we found on that planet could put our company on the map in a bigger way than we've ever been. And I'm not confident that Astra Unum is going to be willing to share that light with you.
I've no doubt. I have no doubt that Mr. Wright is anything more than a respectable business partner. He has no bad marks on his business dealings in the past.
Do you think that he became as wealthy as he is by sharing with his lowly constituents?
Not everyone is unscrupulous as you, son.
Coming from you, that's a deep cut. Martha, are you hearing this? Are you feeling okay, Dad? I'm gonna go pick up the wine. So wait. So you think that Anthony Wright, the wealthiest person in this galaxy, is gonna what? Call you on stage and say, "Oh, my great business partner here and I found this discovery"?
Son, hold on. Mr. Roosevelt and young Mr. Spencer. If you give me a moment, my son, please. Sorry.
No. They can stay. They were here
No.
when we discovered
I
this.
just want to speak to my. I'm pulling you away, son. I'm not gonna make them go away. Mr. Courtney. I'm sorry. He says, Miss Etheridge. Give us a moment. He says, son, come with me, please.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of walks with you to the next room. He says, let's just talk business. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was cold of me. That was cold of me.
Cold as your MO. What I thought this was business.
Look. Mr. Wright is a powerful man.
Yes.
A powerful and wealthy man. We'd be glad just to get the crumbs from his table.
Right, but just the crumbs are not what we're after here. When we have the opportunity to have a full course meal. This
Your
is
friend's
leverage.
There. Your friend's there. How long will they work for Astra Unum?
I don't know. They've been with them for a short while, but I've also been with them through the field, through the thick and the thins, saved their lives. They've saved mine. I think that our bond may go slightly deeper than the employer-employee agreement. But I understand.
I'm just saying I wouldn't besmirch the character of their employer in front of them.
That's fair. And let's be honest, I'm not saying anything about him that isn't what everybody already knows. He is a great businessman. And from what I've heard, anecdotally speaking, he's a good person. But he's business savvy. And he is going to exploit this discovery to the utmost of his financial benefit. And if we can get even a small percentage of that, we can take the Brax Courtney name eons beyond where it was. in its heyday, let alone where it is right now. Just a fraction of that. And seems how we're on the topic.
Son. If there's one thing I'm proud of you for, and he puts his arms on your shoulder, it's your business sense. Okay? And now he's got both hands on your shoulder at this point. And he comes in to try to give you a hug. Do you accept it?
Seems how this is a weird thing for him to do.
Is it weird?
Yeah, I don't think that we have a lovey relationship. I would say we have more of a, almost like a, almost a business relationship with one another. Is how I feel it is. But I would let it happen because it's weird.
Okay, then it feels weird to you. Then it may make you think about a place in his life. Then it may make you think about what's going on with him right now.
Oh, the thoughts are already racing in my mind.
Okay. He still hasn't asked about the jail yet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hug him and kind of hold the embrace for a moment. Just, Dad, are you feeling okay?
No, son, I'm not.
Well, what's going on?
He looks away. I'm forgetting things. I don't understand why.
You're 90. That's normal.
Actually, in this setting, it's not really normal at 90.
Really?
No, not really. Not with advancements in medicine. It's not really that normal at 90. Not with someone as much money as he has and access to healthcare he has. All the health enhancers he has. He should be fine until he's like 100. You know.
Have you talked to any of the local doctors about this? There has to be at least someone that you trust enough to let your guard down slightly too.
He says, I don't know, it's just started happening. My mother pointed it out to me.
His mother?
No, sorry, he said your mother. Yeah, your mother. Yeah, Agatha.
Holy shit.
No, his mother's passed away. Yeah.
Well, Mom has always been a stickler for detail, so. Well, I mean, is there anything I can do to help?
No, not until I know more.
Well, if you need me,
that's why I didn't want to fight tonight. But as soon as we started talking, everybody just kind of got pushed into our old ways.
Yeah, old habits die hard. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I kind of started attacking you as soon as you came in.
There's something else that I wanted to talk to you about, since how we're on the topic of the brain.
Okay.
If all else fails with this negotiation tactic with Mr. Wright, I kind of, sort of brought something back from the outpost.
Well, let me see it. Where is it? Is it too big to show me?
It's complicated. And Aston's face relaxes and his demeanor changes. My name is Exgon. And then he kind of takes control back from it. Not like this, no. I may have inadvertently downloaded the consciousness of an alien species into my brain.
He says, "What?
I know.
That sounds... It just sounds... Is that even a real thing? That just... That sounds like something from television, son.
Oh,
Sounds like something from like one of those vid docs, or I don't know."
Do I know of any languages that my dad knows that I don't?
Sure. He speaks Rescovian.
Do I not speak that one?
I don't think you do. Yeah, he speaks Sazanese.
So, when he says that, I'm going to close my eyes and then I am going to engage in a fluid conversation of Rescovian with him. You know as well as I do that I was never able to pick up on Rescovian. The dialect just slipped me. But my new friend here, he's able to pick up on it quite effortlessly.
Okay. Cool. And kind of like stumbles back, and he kind of just stammers for a moment, and he says, "Son, this is still so hard to believe."
I'm still coming to terms with it myself.
You're saying there's some sort of alien inside you?
I'm saying that alien and I are one.
I don't know what I should think of this. I don't know whether I should... Son, how am I supposed to accept this?
You don't have to. But one way or another, it's the truth. And I can only think of all the possibilities that we can use this for leverage.
Wow. Here I am at the end of my life, maybe. My memory fading. Everything could be changing. I'm hoping to rebuild bridges. And all you're thinking about is how you can use it for business? You are my son.
For better or worse, he taught me well.
You can stay here. But I'm still not coming to terms with it.
Mull it over. We can talk later. Let's not leave everybody in there.
Yeah, let's go have dinner.
Oh, and, don't tell Mom.
I wouldn't dream of it.
But if you can think of a way to do it, make sure Martha knows.
I'll inform her. So I think we go back to dinner, and I mean, unless there's anything specific you two want to say to him, then I think it just kind of goes smoothly, or does it go smoothly? Do you guys have...
Can I get him to break out the good whiskey or no?
Given that his current state in his life, you do. you get him to break it out. Also, make a notice roll for me. This is for Aston. Wow.
I don't notice shit.
You start
It's that good
drinking.
whiskey.
You start drinking the whiskey, and you're not wanting to think about your father's condition. Maybe it's weighing on you what he told you about his mind slipping, right? And so you're blocking it out, right?
Right. Everything is a sign, which means nothing is a sign.
Right. And there's other signs that you miss of other things, and that I won't divulge. And the night, I guess you guys have some fun that night then, hanging out with him. Then, did you have conversations with Spencer and Levi about your father on the ship?
Honestly, probably not. It's not like we
Okay.
have gushy relationship with one another, my father and I.
Okay.
So it would be kind of just like, he's a businessman. He's, no bullshit, straight to the point,
Okay.
cut and dry.
Okay. All right. Well, I was wondering if you had told them how business-like your relationship was, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gotten into too much detail about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So y'all all just have a good evening then, drinking whiskey and stuff like that, except for Spencer. So unless y'all allow him to drink, that is.
I'd slip him some whiskey regardless.
Nice. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
good stuff. See, now I have a taste for the good stuff, and it's
Oh yeah, I just ruined it for you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Just so you know
yeah.
that. You're gonna try some fucking wild turkey and it's just gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Sorry, man.
So let's go back to Matt then for a little bit, and his sister. So what do you want to explore with you and your sister's relationship?
That's a good question. Because I really hadn't I guess built out exactly
Just want to spend time with her and just have that happen and play?
catch up, and yeah, because it's been, I don't remember how long since they've seen each other, but
Yeah.
I don't think they've seen each other since they parted ways at Palisadia.
Right. You just wanted to have it happen in play and stuff like that, and make sure it's happening in the story. Okay. All right. You didn't necessarily want something specific to happen. You just want to make sure it happens. Okay. Cool. Okay. That's cool.
Unless you have some cool ideas. I mean, I'm open to
I didn't necessarily have anything off the top of my head, unfortunately. But you do spend at least a month, or we'll say a month on we'll say an undetermined amount of time right now, because I'm trying to orchestrate a bunch of people together. But you do spend time with your sister and with the research team, and you guys determine that you guys do you build your relationship with your sister, all stuff, and you guys are kind of growing closer together since all that time on Palisadia where you guys eventually separated. You do determine that your sister felt a little bit of enmity towards you, and she kind of hid it well when everything fell out with your family, and your family ended up getting arrested. But now you're kind of using this time now to overcome that, and you're kind of breaking down walls. But now, so now your kind of relationship is mending. And now the big thing that you're finding at the facility is that all the different subsystems are now back online, and you guys did find the big quote unquote black box that stored most of the alien or the non-organic life forms in the database of all the scientists that were on this outpost. And you start going through all the information and the data to try to salvage them. And some of them didn't survive because it shut off, and then it had to get restored. But some of them have survived. So, but then you have to translate it and that kind of stuff like that. So it'll take some time. But you guys do have it, and so we'll kind of have to bring your character back to everyone else, and I think we will move on to that scene actually now, because I think Shaun wanted to speak to Anthony Wright about Devin, and I think we'll move on to that scene, and then Levi will go back to actually real quickly. I want to speak to Levi, and then we'll go back to Levi. I want to do something with you in your background. So you have a family member on Palisadia. When you return to civilization, right?
Yes.
You have a family member, an ex-wife, named make sure I got that right. Adelaide Hanover, correct?
Yes.
Adelaide Hanover. You have a video message waiting for you on the Griffin Explorer when, after the dinner, and you return to the Griffin Explorer at some point, right? At some point, when the party is doing undetermined things, we'll say. And the video message, is there a moment of hesitation before you click the button to hit play?
Oh yeah, there's I'm just gonna ignore this for a while, probably, and go try and find anything else to do first. But
Right. Well, so you open the video message, and Adelaide Hanover says, so it's your wife, obviously. So is she around the same age as you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so you said she had a daughter named Alice Hanover, right? Well, she contacts you, and you're how old?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, the thing says 66. I put that down apparently at one point.
So you're middle-aged, huh?
In this setting, apparently. No, he was never wealthy like your dad. He's gonna age like an old person. So, your dad's got that money. No, let's see. Okay, so your Adelaide answers. Adelaide appears on the screen, and she says, "We'll say for my assistance in this, we'll say your ex-wife is a little younger. It's gonna help me out, actually." Okay, so she's like in her 50s, and a woman appears on the screen with salt and pepper hair, black with salt and pepper hair, and she says, "Look, I know you don't want to speak to me, but this isn't about me. You know my husband can't handle this business, and I'm sorry you have to speak to me. This is important. It's about Alice, and only you can help me. Only you know what she's going through." She works security for Dracotech, or she worked security for Dracotech. She's been labeled a fugitive. I don't think she could have done that. They say she went AWOL, missing. Her citizenship has been remanded. Please find her. She's not. She was stationed off-world. She was stationed on. Gee, I need to remind myself. She was stationed in. She was stationed in Ilar. It was a Dracotech ice mining station on the outer edge of the system. See you, Melissa. Have a good night. And she says, please find her. I know she didn't leave her post. And then she just cuts the call off.
Okay. So you definitely need to start poking around trying to figure out what to do, which people he knows in this system to try and do the, hey, wait a minute, she was here. Let's see what we can find out kind of thing, but on the, without trying to alert everybody under the sun that he's trying to find her kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to a Dracotech ice mining station. You are allowed to go there. You're not in any kind of you're not on the run or anything. So
sure, but
from Dracotech. I just want to let you know that though.
Sure. I'm actually thinking, well, it would be trying to think if there's anybody I could call sort of thing, or if I just needed to show up over there and hear what happened.
You have that connections edge, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Cool.
How does that even work?
Do you want to think it over to yourself about how you want to use it while I go to Spencer? And maybe Matt, if we want to say an undetermined amount of time, came together. And so, Spencer, you wanted to ask Mr. Wright about essentially coming up with a solution for Devin, right? So talk to me. Well, it'll be easier if you're just going to talk to Mr. Wright. So let's just say you're in a room with Mr. Wright because you scheduled a meeting with Mr. Wright. And do you want to have anybody else there to help you with the conversation? Or is it just Spencer?
Would he even talk to me alone?
That's a good point. That's a good point. You're a 15-year-old, but he's not a douchey guy.
Yeah.
Levi is like one of his oldest friends. But Jeremy is all over there also busy with his connection edge. So
I could at least send a email or something saying, hey, he's got something really interesting. I think you'll be interested to hear about the
There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that's what happened. A message was sent saying, like, hear me out. Like, hear him out. Okay. And so now you're meeting, we'll say, Mr. Wright for a walk and talk in the halls of the capital ship, and Astra Unum's capital ship. So you guys are walking together in the halls. He's a busy man. And as I said, described him before, he's like in the Astra Unum uniform. He's a very proper man. He's a bit thin, but a strong guy on the older side. Salt and pepper hair, salt and pepper beard. And he looks at you and he says, unfortunately got a meeting to go to, Spencer, but Levi told me that you have something really interesting you want to talk to me about.
Yes, I know you're busy, so I'll keep it short. We were on a mission. We were retrieving an artifact for Arthur's sister. We encountered a ship that had been attacked by wolves, pirates. There's an individual on board, young kid, probably about 11.
Okay.
Psychic abilities. He died. However, his...
Oh, no. It's terrible.
Yeah, but he's technically still around.
What?
He was able to contact me telepathically. And then he was able to transfer his mind into our ship.
It's brilliant. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone with psychic abilities that could jump into technology. I mean, that's quite rare.
I didn't even know it was possible. Unfortunately, while we were out there, our ship received heavy electrical damage.
But with his body dead, he can't ever go back into his physical body.
Well, and that's what I was going to talk to you about, is we've also encountered in our travels for lack of a better word, cyborg.
Oh, yeah. And so you're talking about the vat-grown clones with. You're not talking about an actual You're not talking about a completely cybernetic organism with completely robotic parts, are you? You're talking about the vat-grown, or synthetic. I mean, there's two different kinds, but with a control chip, right?
Yes. What I was thinking is there might be a possibility to upload him to a body. Now, my problem right now is we took heavy electrical damage. I believe I was able to partition or find the file.
So you've recovered him?
I think I did. I need somebody who knows a hell of a lot more about computer systems and artificial intelligence than I do.
Okay. All right. So what do you need from me? This sounds like we could be saving a boy's life, and I'm all for saving a boy's life. So you need a body, right?
I need that, and I probably need your best tech experts to look at our ship and see if they can find and salvage him and put him into a body.
You're talking about some kind of technology. To be honest, because remember you're talking right now. He says, you're talking about something that most computer science experts have never even done before. I mean, this kind of sonic capabilities rarely exist, much less the circumstances in which it occurred. I don't know if anyone's ever done what you did, much less can do it better than you. So I will see what I can do. But what I can do is get you a body. However, it's illegal in ILR. ILR has some of the strictest laws regarding cloning and synthetic humanoids. But it doesn't mean we can't do it in another system.
Mm-hmm.
So, or we can't do it illegally. I'm not really interested in that, but it is a boy's life.
Yes.
So, you have a friend, Aston Courtney, right?
Yes.
Tell him, Bratz Courtney Enterprises, money is no object. They get you a ship. I'll charter the ship. They fly you to another system. I'll provide the body. Assuming Levi can't fly you out, of course. I mean, it's possible you guys could fly your own self out. But, I mean, either or an option. But fly yourself outside the system, get the body, retrieve it. Of course, you guys will have to facilitate the transfer of the body. But I will fund it.
Okay.
Of course,
basically-
it didn't come from me.
Okay.
He winks at you and shakes your hand.
All right. Awesome. I'll keep you posted. And I run off.
Before you run off, he pulls you back,
Okay.
and then he holds your hand tighter, and he says, "It didn't come from me."
What?
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. So now we can. So how do we want to do this? Levi, are you on this chase for your family by yourself? Or are you going to bring the whole crew along? Because how I play out events and in what order determines whether you're going to get everyone else involved.
I would go to Spencer and say, "Hey, I'm probably gonna have to do some stuff in system and fly around. Do you want to stay there with? Stay here? Do you want to stay with me, or which? But I'm gonna start making some calls and get moving shortly, kind of a thing. And so just offer it to Spencer and assume that Aston's gonna be okay with his family for a little while, and at least do the first, looking around.
I kind of give you a quick rundown of what I spoke with. What's his name now?
Anthony, right?
Right, that's it.
So
First thing he does, I talked to Anthony Wright, and
Well, no, he knows because
He's going to give me a body, which was illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got to pick something up, and I'm like, this message will self-destruct. Like,
oh, okay, one of those.
yeah.
Is there a timetable on that? No? Okay, cool.
Like sooner than later, if something happens to this ship, that guy's gone. Devin's dead.
Um,
I'm like, we can talk to Aston and see if he can get it.
so I'm gonna say we'll get the body in a little while. You should start working on the software side of things and come with me, because ulterior motive of having you have brain powers in case people don't want to talk, sort of thing, at this security
I'm like,
outpost.
hold on, where are you going and what are you doing?
I gotta try and find somebody that has supposedly disappeared.
Okay, I'll help you with your thing, but then you got to do my thing.
Of course. That's grown. That's how families work.
Ugh. How long is this supposed to take?
Well, let's find out. We're just going to ask some questions first.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know how big the ILAR system is. So if it's like days to try and go over to the Draco security thing, that would make a difference. But
it is a yellow sun system, so it is going to take days.
okay. So
I can roll it.
Yeah.
It'll take 4 days. It is in the outer belt.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else that I would put priority above trying to find her, but I feel like calling somebody and talking would be better than just driving out to the security place, sort of a deal. And so that doesn't have to be a whole conversation. It could just be a, oh yeah, she didn't show up and then she left, sort of a thing, and see if, I don't know, just find out what I can if they'll even talk to me. How about that one? Will the actual security place talk to me and tell me what the problem was? So I mean, I would try and call the Draco security outpost that she was stationed at.
Okay, so you contact them up. You reach an operator line and the security office, and they you reach them, and they just whatever you want to ask them, whatever information you want, they'll provide you. We can role play it first person, or we can do it third person, whichever one you want to do.
I mean, this one's probably just as easy to be third person and just be like, okay, wait.
What kind of questions are you going to ask them?
Like, what happened with her? Did she get fired? What did she do or not do?
She just didn't show up for a post one day. And then they investigated the station. They questioned people she was hanging out with. She started hanging out with questionable people on the station. The ice mining station is rather large. It's basically a whole colony. I mean, because it's so far and so remote. It basically survives all on its own. Cut off from everybody else. And she started hanging out with a bunch of bad sort, supposedly. That's what they say. And then one day she just didn't show up and didn't come back. And
is this
that's what they claim.
Draco
Tech ran Palisadia, and
right.
she worked for security for them. Yeah.
So Palisadia does the whole not chemical.
Yep, they do the whole making people
control.
think a certain way, chemical control, and keep your mood.
They do that at this ice mining place too?
Yep, but it is optional. But yes, they do it. Although that may have changed since you've been there.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. If they would give me names of the people that those seedy people that she was hanging out with.
People. Sure. This role isn't to not give you information, but rather to arouse suspicion. Make a persuasion roll to avoid rousing suspicion. Look at you. Okay. All right. Yeah, they give you the name. They give you the name Carlton Green. I misspelled Carlton. and Antoine Shelton were two people she's been hanging out with a lot recently. And a quick data search in the system registry on those people doesn't show up anything like questionable. Obviously, anything too questionable, you would need to like do a deep dive, and you need like a hacking skill with, or need like professional credentials.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you're not seeing any red flags or anything.
Yeah.
I do have hacking.
There
those
you go.
names don't-
Sure.
Those names don't mean anything to me, though.
Just know, though, if you're using hacking, you'll have to need to be connected to the ILAR information network, which is what he's connected to do basic searches. But if you're doing it, just know you're hacking the ILAR information network.
So you should do it from Aston's house, not our ship.
Oh, okay. Those names don't mean anything to me, do they? Like they're Tanduklava guys.
Are you looking? Oh, just off the top of your head? No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Okay.
Arthur, you're on your way back to ILAR at this time. They've requested you to keep an eye on some research and scientific supplies en route back to ILAR.
Okay.
And they're going to need resupplying, and they want you to oversee resupplies.
Okay.
Spencer, are you going to hack it, or is that a no-go? I'm just trying to decide if you've decided to get the cojones to do it or not, or are you going to do something different?
I'll try and hack it.
Okay. All right, it's going to be a -2.
Okay.
Can I use an adventure card on his roll?
You can use adventure cards whenever the fuck you want.
I want him to add 1d6 to any trait roll.
Okay, so roll at 1d6. He just succeeds
help at
because of
all.
that 1.
Oh, good.
Because he missed by 1. Okay. All right, so Carlton Green is completely clean. Antoine Shelton has been popped on a few droppers and slotting charges. That's it. That's about it. I mean, that basically means he's taking a few of those drugs where you just drop them in your eye, and he's been popped on a couple of selling charges. And slotting is where you just put some chips in the back of your neck and you just take a little ride. That's about it. Possession and selling. I mean, that's it, honestly. But Carlton Greed is clean. They're supposedly conspirators, though.
Of course.
This was Levi's card, right?
Yes. So in that hacking, would he have found or are they in the phone book sort of thing?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. I'll
Yeah.
say that during his hacking, Spencer found their numbers in the phone book.
Hell, I'm just going to be blunt about it and just send them messages saying, "Hey, this is who I am. Have you heard?"
Yeah,
from
Antoine Shelton
such
appears
and
to be
such?"
in this system. Carlton Green, when you try to connect to him, it gets a not responding. So this is usually what you get when someone's not in the system.
Okay.
So you have to send a long-term, like a long-range message. So you can send a direct, like, two-way communication to Antoine Shelton.
Okay. I would attempt to do that.
Okay, so Antoine Shelton answers. He says, "Hey, this is Antoine. What's up?
Hey, this is Levi.
Who the fuck is Levi?
I'm looking for Alice.
Alice? Yo, fuck you." Then he hangs up on you.
Cool. Let's go shoot him and get some more information.
Shoot everyone. Okay.
About this time, Aston shows up on the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now we can talk to him.
I need some better people skills, Aston.
Yes, you do. Was that a request or just a statement?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I agree. What are we doing?
We're trying to find
Aston, you tell them that Aston, you know Levi is coming back in this system, by the way. He'll be back in probably a couple of hours.
You mean Arthur?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Arthur.
Okay.
You were supposed to manage the resupply for them, being the one that now is the one that manages Brax Courtney Enterprises relationship with Astra Unum. So,
Ooh.
yes.
So yeah, I'll wait for Levi to tell me what's going on before I say anything.
Yeah, I just want to let you know.
trying to find Alice someone who may have gotten themselves in trouble. Never can tell. But she effectively didn't show up for work, and don't know where they've gone, and her mom can't find her.
How old is she?
In her 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume you have some sort of a lead on where you need to start looking?
Yeah, I just tried calling this a-hole Antoine and told him I was looking for her, and he hung up on me. So
We should go shoot him.
I wholeheartedly agree. Everybody likes to talk when they have lost the use of a leg, right?
Yeah, they can't shut up afterwards.
Maybe I don't need more people skills. I just need more bullets.
I have both. But before I get ahead of myself, I just received notification that Arthur is actually en route back here. So I don't know if you want to wait for him, or maybe he can build a torture device for you. I don't know.
I think I can cover a torture device. He's got better things to do. But yeah, we can totally wait a little bit for Arthur, and I can because somebody looking over to Spencer needs to figure out where this guy is, right? That's the next step in the go shoot him for answers.
Once we find him, if he's not being cooperative, we may not have to shoot him. Maybe just dig around in his head a little bit.
Oh, right.
The whole reason you brought me.
Yeah, that. Good
They're
point.
not
If you were just
mutually
gonna shoot
exclusive. You can
I
do
could have
both.
stayed at Aston's house, took a nice bubble bath, a little whiskey. It would have been wonderful.
We can do that after we shoot him, though.
Sounds like an asshole, so whatever.
So, well, that's good because this is my first opportunity to prove myself to the company, as I'm sort of working as a liaison between Brax Courtney and Astra Unum. So I would hate to delegate the first step of this communication. So I need to take care of that. Spencer, find out what we're doing. And then once we get Arthur back, we'll rope him into this kidnapping potential murder. I'm sure he'll be fine with it.
So we're trying to find out where this guy is.
Well, ultimately, we're trying to find out where Alice is, and he's the last person I know of that saw her.
Shit.
I guess I could just try calling him again, but he's probably not going to pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want me to give it a go?
Interpersonal skills. That's why you're here, right? And
Mhm.
We need some kind of cover story.
liaisoning about.
Mm-hmm. Both.
In that order.
Just give me his information. I'll call him.
Beep, boop, beep.
This is Antoine.
Hey, Antoine. My name is Aston Courtney.
You here to buy?
I am.
Okay. How much
But
you want?
I'm not sure that you can handle my supply demands.
Well, then why are we talking on the phone about this shit, dude?
That's what I wanted to arrange.
Okay.
Where can we meet up? We can get this taken care of. I got money. You got goods. Let's do it.
He says, I'm going to give him. No. All right. He says, all right. He says, Garden Plaza. 5th level.
I've heard good things about you. Don't soil the reputation.
He hangs up.
All right, Levi. Garden Plaza.
They serve salad there?
Sure.
Garden Plaza of where? Of what? It's funny you guys are going somewhere you don't even know where. I mean, you're assuming the ice mining station, but...
Well, what I was going to say is figure out the area where he's at and then, equivalent of Google search that.
Yeah. And then he sends you a time. He sends you a text message of time.
Show it to Levi.
Yeah. You guys are not going to fucking reach there in the time he sent.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to fucking reach there in the time he sent.
We're here. He's way
You're like 4 days away.
Rain check.
Does anybody have any contacts out in that area that can be our stand-in?
That would be a good opportunity for Levi's.
Yeah.
Connection Edge.
I swear.
While Levi's looking for his connection edge, 'cause I feel bad for Matt. He's fucking sitting out the game.
Yeah.
Levi's finding his connection edge, finding his connection, and trying to contact his connections. Cliff works out his meet. Blah 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 blah. Matt's here. Yay! Poor Matt. All right. I tried to get you here, fam. I was trying to do it. So.
Nice.
So what are we doing?
He's like, we're kidnapping a guy to find a girl. I'm just playing.
We're going to make someone go missing to find someone that's missing. It's math.
If you got any ideas, throw them out here.
Sorry, I was confused by the connections edge because I thought there was like a role involved to see if I could get in touch with them or whatever.
I think
but
you
it's
just you just pitch me some ideas for someone,
You know a guy.
So
and we just make it happen, right?
yeah, so I'll like scroll through the the public facing, like who works at the ice mining thing, and be like, oh, I think I remember this guy's name from when I worked.
Yeah, you'll be like,
security
it's
back
basically like you're
when.
saying, hey, I remember, Charlie so-and-so used to work at that place, used to work for Draco. I think he's stationed out there now,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the plan. If he's part of, if Charlie is part of security, I'll say, oh yeah, Anton's expecting to meet somebody this time, Garden Plaza, and is gonna have the goods, whatever the hell it is he's trying to sell on the down low now. So you could, make a bust if you want.
We like slip him some extra money to just hold on to him for us.
Exactly.
Oh, so you're going to actually have him
the
bust him.
next step.
Okay. And you're
just
literally
hold him
going with
for-
Charlie. Just because I put a name out. Okay.
Hey, I'm bad at coming up with names.
Okay.
And if I can I use this to basically say that we have enough monetary resources that we can put towards this to make sure that he holds on to this guy for us?
Have this. Oh, you play the card. Hidden stash. Your hero scrounges of mundane necessities of some sort, such as food and water and shelter. If you're willing to supply guns and ammo to the Draco security or something like that, maybe like you guys, like you know that Brax Courtney Enterprise has basically got like an overshipment of weapons on a delivery or something like that, and you're basically saying like, hey, like, we've got an extra, like, essentially crates of weapons.
Specifically,
We'll
for
give
his
Draco
contact.
Tech.
Just his contact.
Yeah, I know. Oh, his
I don't
contact. Yeah,
know
just
Draco
his
Tech
contact.
for shit. Just his
Sure.
contact.
Okay. All right.
Just say,
Cool.
hey, if you can hold on to this guy for a couple days.
Sure. How about this? Persuasion roll or spend a Benny? Spend a Benny, no roll. Okay. Well, look at that. All right. Yeah, you persuade him, and yeah, he looks the other way because it is kind of fishy. But yeah, he agrees to it.
Oh yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah. All right. His name is Charlie Fontaine. That sounds so old school, but I like it. Better put it down before I forget it, though.
On the phone, and the ship arrives and opens up, and I'm like, Arthur! Click.
You said the corporation this guy is working for is Draco Tech?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the evil corporation on Palisadia called?
Draco Tech.
Okay.
You're going home, buddy.
This could be interesting.
Are you wanted?
That's also one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you back.
Well, I left under
Escaped.
not great
That stuff is
circumstances. Wait, wasn't Levi? Didn't we leave together?
Levi's not on the run, though. He saved you.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, I should probably not be out in public a lot. I mean, I don't know how well they know my face.
it's not Palisadia.
True. I'm just wondering about like cameras or something. I don't know.
Also,
Yeah.
don't worry. I'm
good
not
thing
filling you in on
information
anything.
doesn't travel fast in this setting.
True.
Right?
True.
So, okay. So, we'll just kind of skip to 4 days later. You guys arrive at the ice mining station. And you guys are making your way through. And this place is like an older facility, right? Draco Tech just bought the rights to it, right? It just got sold off to them. and we see like this is along the outer belts of ILR, and we see like tons of mining ships coming in, and like, and they're basically bringing in like massive chunks of ice, essentially asteroids, from the outer planets and dwarf planets, and also the belts and the rings around the outer planets and dwarf planets, or the rings just around the asteroid belt around it. And they're essentially pulling them in with cables, and they're bringing them in, and they're basically just trying to break them up at certain stations, at this big mining station with explosives, essentially, and drills. And then they load them into giant containers, and then they haul them off to jump cannons. So, and this is basically where like all the ships moor and all the workers live and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty crazy to watch the operation because it's like lots of crazy like explosions in space, which look weird because you don't really hear much, but it's actually quite dangerous. So, but if you ever watch The Expanse, it's pretty neat. There's a couple of episodes where you actually see like ice mining actually take place, and it's pretty dangerous. So, but yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. So you guys, so you get off and you get inside, and it's very old. Actually, the interior of the space station looks a lot like what the area looks like behind Spencer. So, behind Shaun's camera. So, it's probably one of the oldest space stations in this system. So, anyways, so, but you guys are making your way through there, and, but at one point, you guys witness a violent outburst break open in front of you. And it appears that violence is pretty common here for some reason, because the police or the security personnel are just armed to the teeth and ready with riot gear. And they just start beating down the workers as soon as it happens. And they just start quelling it. And this kind of all plays out. How do you guys react to it as soon as it starts happening? Just kind of watching it?
Yeah, I mean, Aston doesn't care.
Okay. All right. So it'll play out, and unless you guys don't leave or get involved anyway, it escalates to the point to where eventually so many people get involved that the whole passageway gets blocked off, and the tased bodies start piling up, and you can't make it your way through this passageway. So you've been standing here for 30 minutes now, and you're blocked off by riot shielded security and piled up workers / some of these people are probably on what's called social, which means essentially quote unquote living wage.
Levi, can you call Charlie and try to see if he can figure out how the hell to get us out of this gridlock?
Yeah, let's ask him if there's another
Yeah, so Charlie says,
passageway.
he says, yeah, you can take corridor 34C and then take a left down blah 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 blah, which means make a smarts roll to see if you can follow all that fucking mess since you've never been on this space station. So, hey, all right. So Levi understood that long, chaotic like mess of a description that he gave you. So you guys spend about 45 minutes navigating around this tunnel. And what immediately becomes obvious to you guys is that this place is a nightmare of a mess. And Levi, it just occurs to you immediately that whatever is happening here, not everybody's on this drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you drink bottom shelf whiskey, just so you know.
You get beat up by security?
Or you become the security guard.
Oh, God. It's just
Now,
blue label from here on out.
now,
You don't get paid enough for that.
yeah.
I've been saving.
You get to the so we'll jump ahead to when you're arriving in the security office and you see Charlie. He's a kind of a portly man with a graying beard and a bald head, and he's only slightly younger than Levi. He definitely should already be retired. And he says, "Hey, Levi, what are you doing now?"
I'm working for Astra Unum, shuttling
man.
stuff around.
I'm jealous. I'm
Don't
still just doing this Draco Tech thing, being a corporate slave. Sorry, being a corporate slave. Anyways, so what
It's
are you
like
gonna do with this guy?
Supposedly he knows new Alice and may know which direction she went.
Well, look, this Alice girl, man, she's AWOL, dude. I hope you, man, just let this go, man. Once you ask your questions, let it go, man.
I'm just gonna ask him some questions, see if he knows where she was last.
Okay, all right. Well, here you go. Get on in. And he kind of just like he kind of unlocks the door and the door slides open. And so you guys can all enter inside. And you see a guy inside that's kind of like dark skinned, really scrawny, like very scrawny, abnormally tall. And he's got kind of a mohawk mullet thing going on. And he's got tats all over his face, and it looks like he has like a probably has like a spinal construction to help him in the low gravity environment. So,
What's the construction of this room we're going in? Is it just like standard bar cells, or is it like an actual room we're going in?
no, this is an interview room. It's just a blank room with like blinking lights because the lights are not working properly, and yep.
Is he restrained in any way?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then all three of you enter, and then he stops Spencer and he looks at Levi and he says, "The kid, you sure?"
He's just gonna stand there. He's basically the cabin boy.
All right.
He's just graduated.
Okay.
It's a good life lesson for the boy.
All right. Okay. And then he
Remember,
leaves
this
and
is why
closes
you
the
stay
door.
off drugs.
And then he leaves and closes the door. And then he's given Arthur a steely glare.
What?
I'm just gonna kind of wave at him. Oh, hey, Anton. Aston. Sorry I couldn't make our original date, but you see, the time frame that you gave me was just a little bit short.
He spits at you.
That's cute. So hey, buddy. We have a few questions for you, and assuming you comply and everything checks out, we're going to forget this ever happened and let you go.
I've been here 4 fucking days.
That's because we were 4 fucking days away from here. Weird how time works.
Do you know what this jail is like?
Judging by the fact that I have spit on my boot and God knows what on the bottom of my shoes, say it's pretty paradisial here.
What do you want?
Levi.
So, you knew Alice?
You were the one that called me the first. And he just starts to jump out of his chair, and he recognizes your old Sam Elliott fucking voice, and he starts to jump out of the chair and try to punch you, and he realizes his hands are restrained, and he starts struggling with his hands.
I'm going to pull my gun out, cock it, and then I'm just going to look at him with a kind of a grin. Like,
is that that's an intimidation roll, like an intimidation roll. Okay.
Let's
all right.
not
Sweet.
make any hasty
That's a
decisions
+2
here,
to
friend.
whatever other rolls are made. That's a support roll for Levi.
Look, all you had to do was talk to me on the on the video earlier, and none of this would have happened. Just where the hell did you see her last? That's it? You just gonna stare at
Carlton
me?
Crean is my boy. Alice, I care deeply about. I'm not telling where she is.
Why is that?
Who are you?
Okay. I am
Don't
someone
trust you.
that makes 2 of us. Wait, no, I don't trust you either. But you're all I got to go with right now.
I was going to say we can possibly. I have an adventure card I think would be helpful.
Okay.
It's Peace is the name of it. Play to improve the initial attitude of an individual or group 1 level. Using your
Okay. That could definitely help here.
Okay.
Okay, let me see it though before you play it. Hold on.
Okay.
Just give him some drugs. It'll make him happier.
Play to improve the initial attitude of an individual or group on 1 level. Yes, it could help here.
Okay. Okay. So I'm playing it on behalf of the other guys because I'm not talking.
All right.
Okay.
So
He says, so you said, I don't know you either. Okay, he says, fair point. So you just assume, just like the cops, that I'm just because I sell a little on the side, that I'm just some fucking street rat. I'm some rough guy, right?
Dude, your name was just one of the names that was mentioned. You got the short straw. We're not making any assumptions. We just want help.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, here's the truth. Your girl warned off the drugs. See those people out there?
The drugs you have?
Those people?
Or...
No. The drugs they're making the security take.
Okay.
They're forcing all of them to take it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was wondered when that would start.
She wanted off of it. And all those people out there,
Yep.
they're not acting like that because they're not off the meds. They're acting like that because Draco has stopped sharing the wealth. Draco stopped bringing the money back home.
That's
Those
what
people
happens
are
with
starving.
corporations.
Those people are workers who aren't getting their paychecks anymore. Those people are protesting. So, and they thought, oh, the security needs to stay on their drugs so they can keep beating them down. And your girl, she left because she couldn't take it anymore.
Good. So she made it somewhere safe? Or do you even know?
Safe. You know, Draco.
It's a relative term.
Draco
Safer than
Tech.
out there. Hopefully.
Draco Tech ain't gonna stop looking for her though. She knows too much. She was valuable. She was one of the most trained they got. She was sent here to train all those security guys on advanced fighting techniques. She was She was sent to make them into hardened soldiers. From what she told me, she's seen some shit.
You usually have to be that well trained.
All right, so you're gonna have to make some kind of persuasion roll to get any more out of him. But you got a +2 from the intimidation support from Aston.
So I'm going to say something about that. I left because I wanted to stop taking everything, but I did it in a better time when you were just somewhat allowed to leave with the proper paperwork and shit. And it sucks that it's coming to that sort of thing. And I'm just trying to make sure that I can help Alice. And after that, if I can figure out a way to help the greater situation, who knows? But I'm not promising anything. That would be my line of...
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I like that. And since it's such a good argument, it's compelling for him, I'll give you another +1. Make a persuasion. You get a +3.
Hold on. Before you do that, while he's talking, I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder.
Oh.
And
gonna Benny it.
I'm
Nice.
gonna boost his persuasion by 1 more.
Nice. Okay, so now you got a +4 to this persuasion. You shouldn't fail this one, old buddy.
You'd think that.
All right.
Yay.
Okay, so you got a raise. And he takes your story about your origins, and you almost see his eyes welling up. And you're not sure why at first. And then he starts by saying, I wanted to go with her, man. I wanted to leave too. But I couldn't. Can't leave this fucking station. She went to Felice. It's 1.2 gravity. I'd fucking fall to the fucking earth. I'd throw up as soon as I fucking landed on it. I wouldn't be able to walk. In 6 months, my fucking organs would be jelly. Felice. That's where she is. But Dracotech. Felice. Dracotech is not gonna stop. They're gonna get her, man.
No, they're not.
And don't worry, these cameras. There's no cameras in here. These fucking cameras don't work. This place doesn't work worth a damn.
I'm gonna lean into Levi and be like, "We can trust Charlie, right?"
We could, as far as I can throw him.
With or without your mech suit.
Hey, I've been getting hit in the gym. What are you talking about?
I can tell. You look less flabby.
Yeah, I think we can trust Charlie. I think we can trust Anton too.
Well, Anton, I apologize that we had to use such a ruse to get you here and for whatever it is you've had to endure these 4 days. But
Thank you.
as you can appreciate, this information was valuable. And if we can find Alice and save her, she will know that you were the reason she was saved.
Thank you.
Shoot. Yeah.
What was the name that he said of his friend that was associated with her? Something Green. I think he
Carlton
said?
Green.
Carlton Green.
Just look back at Arthur. You glad to be back in the mix?
Never really left. Oh, Arthur.
I would like to get off this mining station as soon as
This shitty
possible.
fucking mining station.
I
You
do
and
not
me
feel
both.
safe here.
We need a wet
Spencer
map
grew up
for
in
this
places
spit.
like this. The only reason why Spencer ended up okay is because Spencer took the drugs when he was a kid that made it to where he could walk on planets like Earth. He could afford them.
You little druggie.
Like vaccines.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're shots for him, you know? Yeah. Okay, so you guys leave,
Guys.
and
Yep.
okay, so we do see you guys try to plot a course to Felici.
Is that in system?
Negative. Do you guys want to figure out where it is?
Might be wise.
Yeah,
Sure.
because
I figure Arthur already knows.
Use
Yeah,
the
make a academics roll.
It's like a walking encyclopedia.
Academics.
No, academics is not his best role.
Well,
Yeah,
if academics
it's in the.
then I know where it is too.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, both of you know it is in because you're a spacer, right? I mean, Felici is a colony world, colony system of a NASA. So it is under the control of the Vicanian Empire. It is 2 jumps away if you pass through a NASA.
what are their laws on vat-grown beings and stuff?
Oh, they're good. They're good.
Cool.
They use them for soldiers.
Vicanians are the ones that attempted the coup while we were on Ilar 4, whatever it was, with the vats. They were the ones causing trouble, right? Or maybe
They're the ones who actually took a NASA from it was a free state, and they took a NASA from its previous owners. It was a free state before, and they took it.
No,
from
he's asking about the very first.
Oh no, that was
Bug planet.
Takis and
okay.
Yeah. No, I'll link an ass in the chat if y'all need to see it. And the Volcanian Empire, I'll link in the chat too.
New Dawn was the guerrilla forces from Takis.
Oh, you're thinking about Minister Agrillo was the leader of that group. That's probably what you're thinking about.
And for the record, for you, Shane, we are 1 day past my 30 days in-game days, so I no longer have this negative bump on my strength.
Oh yeah, we're probably well past that. We're probably like many days. So you go ahead and get rid of it. Yay! You stuck it out. I'm proud of you.
I'm still going to keep the scar, though. I like it.
Cool. Okay, so next session we'll see you guys zipping over to Felici, and we'll see what happens then. Okay? Alright, so it sounds like a good time to end it, everyone. Thank you for coming and joining us. Thank you everyone for checking us out tonight. Don't forget that things like when you use your channel points on things like raises and stuff like that, they do pass on to the next session. So, but anyways, so we're gonna call it a night, and we'll raid out to someone else. So, come join us next week. We will be back. Yes, next week we'll be back. But I posted a new dates in the Twitch chat panels below, so you can see all the new schedules and the new dates and everything like that in the Twitch panels below. Also, do not forget we have a new Vampire 5th Edition. Part 2 is this coming Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Shaun, in case you forgot that. Wink. Okay. All right, cool. I knew I hadn't warned you recently. So, but anyways, we got that coming up. That's probably our final part to the vampire game. And also, do not forget to check out Cliff. Game's over now. Cliff's Quest and Cliffhangers show and his. Help me out, Cliff. What time are those shows?
8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday for D&D, 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays for Savage Worlds.
Cool. And I dropped a link in the chat for how you can find his channel. So, all right, we're going to sign out here. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. All right. Bye.